Hey guys, man, a lot of things happening today. I can't get out of my computer room. I keep finding one thing after another thing. All right, original WebBot prediction, which was made originally, I believe, in 2008 when they first decided to mention it, and again in 2009 they mentioned it then too. People will be fleeing, and the numbers they were seeing were either 2 million, 20 million, or 200 million people would be fleeing north of 40-degree latitude by some event. It was the original event was global coastal event. Now, the other day, I mean, literally like what, a week, 2 weeks ago, we had 20 million precisely Pakistanis flooded out and had to flee. Diaspora. That was the key word attached to it in the WebBot report. Diaspora, fleeing, same thing. A group of people, massive group of people in this case, fleeing north of the 40-degree latitude. They thought it would be in America. So that's not quite right. And again, it wasn't quite a global coastal event. It is somewhat of a coastal event when you think about the word water, but then again, maybe not. So, and again, the WebBot's not perfect. It's never 100% dead on, except for maybe a few cases. There actually have been spot on, but normally it's kind of like this, where well, they kind of got that right, but they kind of didn't, or it was leaning more one way than the other. But it was still a hit nonetheless, however you want to look at it. Anyways. Today, 21st of August, 2010, MSNBC, major flood on China-North Korea border. 51,000 evacuated in northeast after Yalu River breaks its banks. Again, not quite a global coastal event. Might be a coastal event to the banks of this city over here. But, again, the WebBot uses the wrong words sometimes, when describing stuff. Like they described a ship, maritime accident, will break apart over a certain latitude. Actually turned out to be the space shuttle in 2003 or whatever year that was, when it was coming in from orbit and blew up in the sky. It was right on the latitude, I believe, where they said, latitude or longitude, whatever it was, where they said it was. And it was a ship that did break apart. Unfortunately, it wasn't a maritime disaster. So it's stuff like that, you just have to take it if you want to follow the WebBot. It's still quite useful, unbelievably useful. So anyways, here's today. 50,001 flee, are evacuated, etc. That's Diaspora. After 2 weeks ago of Pakistan doing the same thing. Okay, here's another headline from today. Second wave of floods in I don't know how to pronounce that, whatever. This is basically Pakistan. A second wave of floods have inundated several areas in Balochistan, even as the worst deluge in Pakistan's history led to mass evacuation in Sindh regions, where around 3.6 million people have been affected and over 600,000 displaced. Again, Diaspora. Right on the money. I mean, this is right in the window of all this happening. Of the first original 20 million, which was the number of the original Diaspora subset thing that came up. 20 million, 2 million, or 200 million. The reason being that they couldn't give us an exact number was because the WebBot flaw that they can't fix, it's just part of it, is that the decimal point is one off sometimes, or two off, which would be 20 million, 2 million, etc. So anyways, here's another thing. Same day here. Another thing of Diaspora. Here is Google Earth of the city in China where 51,000 people just had to flee and were evacuated. Notice that number down there is 40 degrees by 07 and 36.42. That would be the latitude. 40-degree latitude was the hit on the WebBot regarding Diaspora. So, is it, again, this isn't the 20 million people that are fleeing today, and it's on the 40-degree latitude, because if it was, that'd be absolutely amazing hit. But it's within 2 weeks of the 20 million people also experiencing Diaspora somewhere else, and then 51,000 people, which is no small number. That's the size of a city. I mean, there are cities with far less people than that in them. 51,000 people right on the 40-degree mark. Right on that city, dead on 40 degrees. That's quite amazing to me. Even though it wasn't a 100% hit where it was a global coastal event, it almost seems like a global event's happening because we have a certain part of Pakistan getting flooded today, affecting 3.6 million people and another 600,000. We had the other thing from 2 weeks ago in a different part of Pakistan, where 20 million were affected. Today we have this thing from Dangong, China, 51,000 people. This is all around the same kind of event deal. So is that a global coastal event? No, not quite, but it is kind of global going on happenings. There was another flood in the United States recently. It wasn't very big, but it was also something that broke records. Can't even remember what state it was in. It was just like last week. And they had pictures of cars underwater, and one of the interstate overpasses or something like that was flooded out, or didn't really pay much attention because it wasn't that big of a deal, but it did happen. So anyways, just want to report on this, and let's see what else happens.